Africa World Airlines says it cannot be blamed for disallowing physically challenged Rita Kriba from boarding their plane. The airline insists its officials only adhered to the company's policy, which is in line with international guidelines. They also blame the travel agent that purchased the ticket on behalf of Rita for failing to indicate her status as a person with disability. Now, extracts of the statement signed by the Chief Operations Officer, Samuel Thompson, reads, "Our attention has been drawn to media reports from some media houses and on social media on an article on Saturday, 5th May 2018 by Class FM Online under the above title. In the article, it was alleged Africa World Airlines prevented Rita Kriba, a person with disability, from boarding their flight because of her condition, portraying the airline as unsympathetic and hostile towards the physically challenged with our policy. Well, we are obligated to respond to correct the misinformation portrayed, to forestall further misleading of the traveling public and to limit the damage to our reputation." They go on to say, firstly, Madam Rita mentioned that she purchased her ticket from a travel agency and was not informed, which we find unfortunate and cannot fathom why she wasn't informed. It is part of our practice to ask all passengers whether they would need assistance during the reservation process. We find it strange that she was not asked these questions during the reservation process, so we contacted the travel agency, that's Afrowings, to find out why this happened. In their response, the ticket was purchased by a third party and they did not ask the conditions of the travelers. This brings us to the fact that Madame Rita should also have notified the agent of her condition for the necessary information to be relayed to the airline as per the International General Rule on the acceptance of persons with reduced mobility. Now, Chairman of the Disability Forum, Alexander Tete, says they are not convinced. He insists the airline discriminated against Rita and would proceed to court for redress. Joy News has gathered a similar incident happened 2 years ago with the same airline. The matter went to court and the lawyer who handled the case, Lawyer Aziz, joins us via phone. Good morning, sir. Lawyer, tell us what happened on Africa World Airline 2 years ago.
Well, first of all, let me correct this. The case that I handled, which had to do with African World, could not go to court. We were able to settle it out of court.
Okay, great. But what exactly happened?
There was a previous one involving Amtrak, which caused us to go to court. And we went to court through the organization, Ghana Society of the Fiscally Disabled, which represented the person.
Okay.
That was the one that went to court.
Okay.
That was sometime 2014, November.
Sure. But can you briefly explain to us what happened with the issue at the Africa World Airlines 2 years ago?
Now, in respect of the African World, just like the previous one involving Amtrak, the lady had traveled on African World. She was going to the north. She had arrived at Accra on African World, had hoped to continue. And then she was told she could not be flown to the northern region. That was what happened.
And this client was not a Ghanaian citizen, was she?
No, she was a Nigerian citizen.
A Nigerian citizen. Well, in this case, we are being told by Africa World Airlines that this lady did not declare her status, neither did the agency that reserved the ticket on her behalf do so. Was that the same incident or same detail for your case?
No. In the respect of the Nigerian woman, African World has said that she had not disclosed her status to them at the point that she was booking the flight from Nigeria. That's why they couldn't fly her to the northern region. And yes, that's what I'll answer.
So what was the conclusion of that particular issue?
Now, I'll tell you this. In respect of the Amtrak one, which led us to, because the Amtrak one also involved African World and Stable, because after the Danish citizen who had come to Ghana to work for the Ghana Society of the Fiscally Disabled had been denied flights from Accra to the north after he had arrived on an international flight by African World. He went to African World. By Amtrak, he went to African World. African World refused. He went to Stable. They all refused. So we ended up suing all the three airlines in addition to the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. But when the suit went to court, where all the Civil Aviation Authority facilitated a meeting between all the local airlines and us and the Ghana side of the fiscal disabled. In the end, we decided, because Civil Aviation had said they had plans to come out with guidelines that would prevent reoccurrence of such incidents. So we worked with them, we reviewed the guidelines, and then we decided to give them the opportunity to implement the guidelines. So it was sort of a long-term plan to resolve the situation, instead of merely that there and there, the court makes an order that you should, comply with the rules, with the laws of Ghana by carrying persons with disability.
Quickly, do you know if those guidelines are being used now?
The guidelines are enforced. They are enforced. Now, let me just end this. Based on this agreement that they were bringing on board new guidelines, we decided to end the matter and to give them the opportunity to implement them. In the guidelines, it was included in the guidelines that the airlines, because we discovered later that this problem existed, because the airlines had the airline companies local ones had very, very small aircraft, which could not have facilities for persons with disabilities. It was included in the guidelines that they were going to be given 1 year within which to configure their aircraft or to secure new aircraft, bigger ones, so that they could carry persons with disabilities. So it was on the basis of that we discontinued the court case, giving them this opportunity to make amends and to ensure that persons with disabilities could be carried by the local airline.
Thank you for your time this morning, lawyer. That's a lawyer who handled or who's handled cases involving persons with disability and airline companies here in Ghana. We'll take a quick breather now. When we come back, Emmanuel Abuajiriafe will be bringing the business news. Do stay.